Welcome to Marketing Momentum on the Rise, the show where we burn off the noise, fix what's broken in your growth engine, and rebuild with clarity. I'm Sterling Phoenix, and if your funnel's stalled, your message is ghosting your buyers, or your team can't agree on what's actually working, this is the Clarity Pass you didn't know you needed. Let's go. Here's the thing about metrics. They're not neutral. They either move your business forward or they keep you stuck in performance theater. And if you're tracking surface numbers while ignoring signal, your metrics aren't just lying. They're setting you up to lose. Look, I know how seductive those dashboards are. Green arrows pointing up, numbers climbing, everyone nodding in the meeting like we're winning. But are you actually winning? Because here's what I see happening in boardrooms everywhere. Teams celebrating traffic while the revenue flatlines. Leadership's applauding engagement while deals die in the pipeline. And executives high-fiving over form fills that never convert to conversations. It's not strategy, it's theater. And the cost? It's not just wasted budget, it's missed opportunities, stalled momentum, and the slow, painful realization that you've been optimizing the wrong things for months, maybe years. Today, we're breaking that cycle. Let's call out the usual suspects, the metrics that feel important but tell you almost nothing about whether your business is actually growing. First, website traffic. Sure, more eyeballs sounds good, but if they're bouncing, you're just hosting a party nobody wants to stay at. Likes and impressions? Pure ego fuel. That's it. They don't pay salaries. They don't close deals. Email open rates. Okay, they opened it. Fantastic. But did they do anything? Did it move them closer to buying? Form fills. This one tricks people constantly. A lead isn't a lead if it never replies, never qualifies, or never converts. Follower count. You're not an influencer unless influence drives revenue. Otherwise, you're just visible. Webinar attendees. Registration numbers look impressive until you realize half didn't show and the ones who did never booked a call. These numbers feel good. They give you something to report on, something to celebrate. But they're not the ones your CFO cares about. They're not the ones your board tracks, and they're definitely not the ones your bank account reflects. So why are we still letting them drive decisions? Now, here's how you filter out the noise. Before you celebrate, optimize, or even track a metric, ask yourself these 3 questions. First, does this metric predict revenue? If this number goes up, does ARR follow? Or does pipeline velocity increase? Does cash flow improve? If the answer is no, or worse, I don't know, then you're measuring something that doesn't matter. Next, can I influence it directly and immediately? Lagging indicators are fine for reporting what already happened, but they're useless for steering. You need metrics that you can act on this week. Metrics that respond when you pull some lever. If you can't influence it, you definitely can't improve it. Finally, will it help me make better decisions this week? If a metric doesn't change how you allocate time or budget or focus, it's dashboard decoration. Beautiful? Maybe. Useful? Not even close. These 3 questions will cut through 80% of the clutter. And what's left? That's your signal. So, how do you rebuild a metric system that tells the truth and drives actual growth? Here are the 4 moves that will transform how you measure and how you win. Let's start with fix number 1. Build a revenue signal layer. You need metrics that correlate to purchase momentum, not vanity, not activity, real momentum. Here's what that looks like. Demo to close ratio. Are your demos converting? If this number drops, your messaging, your sales process, or your qualification is broken. Next, the lead to reply velocity. How fast are qualified leads responding after your first contact? Speed matters. Delay kills deals. Next up, page to call conversions. Not just they visited. Did they book? Did they engage? That's your real conversion metric. Finally, first touch to deal time compression. How long does it take from the first touch point to the closed deal? The faster you compress that time, the more efficient your engine becomes. These metrics don't just make you feel productive, they'll actually predict whether you're about to make money. Now, fix number 2, kill the zombie KPIs. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those metrics you stare at every Monday meeting but never actually use to make a decision. Cut them, archive them, free your focus. If you're tracking it but not acting on it, it's just dead weight taking up time. And every minute you spend analyzing dead weight is a minute stolen from the metrics that actually matter. Be ruthless here. Your dashboard should be a weapon, not some kind of museum. Fix number 3, elevate diagnostic metrics. Don't just track the what, you need to dig into the why. For example, don't just say form fills dropped. Great, that's awesome and helpful and so informative. Say form friction increased after we added the new CTA test, and here's the exact point where drop-off spiked. Now that's a diagnostic metric. It tells you where to fix, not that just something's broken. The best teams don't just report results. They diagnose those root causes and they move fast. Now, fix number 4, automate your accountability stack. You can't afford to wait for quarterly reviews to realize something is off. Set alerts, build dashboards that actually notify you when leading indicators shift before your revenue does. For example, if demo requests drop 15% week over week, you get an alert immediately, not 3 weeks later when the pipeline's already empty. If reply rates on outbound drop below your baseline, you know to audit messaging now, not next quarter when the damage is already done. Automation gives you speed, and in metrics, speed is everything. Here's the truth. The wrong metrics will lull you into a false sense of progress. You'll think you're moving forward because the numbers look good. And when things stall, you'll scramble, not strategize. But the right metrics, they don't just report the news. They forecast your future. They'll tell you where to double down, where to cut, where to fix, where to scale. And if you build your business around them, you win faster, you waste less, and you grow with precision. That's the difference between businesses that plateau and businesses that actually explode. Metrics aren't boring. They're not just for analysts. They're your competitive edge. So stop celebrating the wrong wins. Stop hiding behind numbers that make you feel good but don't actually move the needle. Get seriously ruthless about what you measure. Get clear about what actually matters. And build a metric system that tells you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Because growth doesn't come from pretty little dashboards. It comes from knowing exactly where you stand and what to do next. If your leadership team is still clapping for traffic spikes instead of conversions, then send them this episode. Better yet, screenshot the 3 questions in the transcript and drop them into your next strategy meeting. Watch how fast the conversation shifts from vanity to actual value. I'm Sterling Phoenix. This was The Rise. Subscribe, share, show up for the truth. See you next time. Clarity, momentum, no burnout. That's the rise.